I've always tried to control my life and take every action I could to be in control of the things that I didn't understand. I tried to control it. I needed people to love me. I needed people to accept me. I needed to go do more. I needed to feel more. I needed something. I was trying to fill this hole in my life that couldn't be filled by anything in this world. Even if my father had been there in the beginning, that's not the father that I needed. Any relationship that I tried to put in this huge gap that I had in my life wasn't going to be enough, because I didn't love myself enough to love someone who loved me enough. My father was in a car accident, and it was right before I was born. So I didn't really get to know him very well for what he used to be like, but he was hurt very bad mentally, and he started to develop the symptoms of bipolar. And one thing that we really struggled with was he would show up and then he would leave. When he was in town, it was great, and I loved him and he loved me, and it was fantastic. But then he would just leave. I needed someone to love me so desperately. And I was in with the wrong crowd. I was trying so desperately for these people to like me so much that I found myself hating myself. I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror, because every time I saw myself, I saw that abandonment. Whether it be the boys that I had dated, or my dad, or just anyone in my life. I had all of these questions for God and for my relationships with everybody that I had no idea where I was going to find any kind of answer. And I decided I wasn't going to tell anybody anything about me. I was just going to start new. I was going to act like I had it all together, because that's what people who had it together did. But at the end of the day, I'd go home and I realized that I still had no substance to my life at all. I had no real relationships. I had no happiness. So I went to church with my boyfriend at the time, and it just so happened to be Highlands. And I walked in the front door, and it was so welcoming and open that the first thing that happened was I was hugged, and I didn't even know how to handle that. But I knew at that moment that no one cared about the things that I had done, or the things that I mean, they cared about what I'd been through and stuff, but that stuff didn't matter. I didn't realize it, but there was this person named Jesus who had lived and seen the things that I had gone through, that every single one of us had gone through. And he recognized every single mistake I had ever made and ever would make, and he died for me. I know that no matter what it is that I'm gonna face, I have this church and I have a God who's got my hand the entire time.